Hi everyone, this is All Things Lymph, and this is my first video for this YouTube channel. I am actually a long hauler, COVID long hauler, and I found a treatment that actually works to cure the long haul COVID. So, or at least make it so that you feel so much better that you can do all the things that you used to do. So I just wanted to put this video out here. I do not have any YouTube channels. This is my first time putting a video out. So I wanted to get this out here because there's so many people out there with COVID, with long haul COVID, that they are having such a hard time and are desperate for help. I know they're setting up the long haul COVID clinics, but not everybody has access to that. And I noticed too on some of the long haul COVID clinic websites that they do not accept patients that did not have an official diagnosis with for COVID. So a lot of the people that had COVID before they had testing, they do not have an official diagnosis of COVID, of having had it. So those individuals with the long haul COVID that didn't have that official test, they are not allowed to go to those clinics. They're not accepting those patients. They have certain criterias. This was on, I looked at the one for Rush Medical Center in Chicago. They had that on their website, and I think U of Chicago, also their clinic there for long haul COVID patients, I believe you have to have an official diagnosis of that, or have to have had testing for that, at least what I read so far. But anyway, I wanted to share this with everybody because I myself have long haul COVID. My husband has it. My niece just recently had COVID for the first time, and she also had some long haul COVID symptoms afterward, and she's only 17, so she's extremely fit and exercises. She's a dancer, and she herself had has some of the long haul COVID symptoms. My mom was one of the first people's that had COVID early on, before we even went on lockdown in 2020. She had it in February. And so she's one of those people that did not have she did not have the test because they didn't have those available where she lived. So, but she ended up with long haul COVID and had that all the way through 2020, clear up until now, until she started doing the same treatment protocol as myself. And then there's also a colleague of mine that I work with who had COVID a few weeks before I did, and she also had long haul COVID and is doing really, really well, just doing fantastic since doing this treatment, as I am myself. So I wanted to get this out there as soon as I could, so that other people, if you want to try this, you can. So this first video, I'm just going to lay out the treatment itself. And I'm not a doctor. I am not recommending this as a doctor, so that's definitely, I'm putting a disclaimer out there. I'm not treating people. I'm not treating patients. This is something that I tried myself, and it worked. And my mom tried it. It worked. We had immediate relief and immediate success. And my colleague tried it immediately because she like me was just desperate for something to help her as well. And she got on it right away, started doing this treatment, and she feels so much better. And again, myself and my mom too. We've also told my niece about it, and she's also, I don't know yet as if she's tried any of it yet or not, but I'll have to get back to you on that. But what I do want to do is just go over this real quick. I'm not tech savvy. I don't do a lot with technical stuff, so you just have to bear with me. I'm just going to do the video the best that I can, and I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to do really any editing. So it's just going to be what it is, because Honestly, I think the content is more important than how fancy my video is. So first off, on the screen in front of you, you can see that I've got this website up called drybrushingforskin.com. It's lymphatic brushing and how to skin brush for detoxing your lymphatic system. The reason why I'm telling you about the dry brushing to clean your lymphatic system out is what I believe is going on. Having been a long hauler, actually having that, as far as me being a long hauler, and I'm still doing this treatment protocol. I'm still healing up. I've made a lot of progress, but I'm still going to keep going with it because it's a good protocol to get rid of everything. But as anything, it's going to take a little bit of time. And I'll kind of, hopefully through these videos, I can kind of tell you how it's gone for me over the several weeks that I've been doing it. I think I've been doing it for, I want to say 6 weeks now, 6 or 7 weeks. I'll have to figure exactly how many weeks and get back to you on that, but I think it's around 6 or 7 weeks now. Before I put any videos on it, I wanted to make sure that it's actually going to help me and actually working. So, so you're going to do the lymphatic brushing, which is the dry skin brushing, and you do that with either horsehair or boar hair brushes. I got both the brushes. I also bought a silicone strap that you can use in the shower for wet brushing. I do use the silicone strap. I tried the boar hair brushes. Those are a little bit more stiff. I didn't care for that as much, so I stuck with my horsehair brush and then the silicone strap. And you use these, you brush your skin all over. Your lymphatic system lies just under your skin. And your skin is an organ. Your lymphatic system is an entire system that runs the extent of from your head to your toes. And what I believe is happening with COVID is that the COVID proteins are breaking off of the virus. You're shutting out the virus, but you are not shutting those proteins out. The proteins are staying in the lymph system. They're clogging up the lymph system. You are unable to drain the fluid from your lymph system appropriately. I'm not saying that the lymph system is completely blocked, because I don't believe mine was completely blocked. I believe it was partially blocked, and probably I'm going to say 75% on my left side, because I had all of the symptoms that a lot of the COVID long haulers have, where the neck, the shoulder, and was just in sheer pain. After I had COVID, I continued with the symptoms for a good 6 weeks after I went back to work. I was home for 2 weeks and then went back to work, and I had all of the COVID symptoms during the acute phase the first 2 weeks, except I did not have the lung congestion, because I took quercetin, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc before I ever got COVID and during the time of COVID, of having it, as well as I still take it now. So that keeps your lungs clear, all of those vitamins, and that quercetin helps you to absorb the zinc and keeps you from getting the lung congestion, which ultimately can end up landing you in the hospital. So you want to keep that away. But so what I did is, after that 6 weeks of still having the brain fog, at that time I didn't have really any pain in my neck or shoulder at that point, but I had a lot of the brain fog and a lot of fatigue, just tired. By 10 o'clock in the morning, I'd be so fatigued, it'd be hard for me to, think at work and that kind of thing. So, and then you just go home, you fall in your chair and you have to take a little nap because you're so tired. And then also, I ended up, after like 6 weeks, having 1 week probably where I started to feel a little bit better, I thought. And so I thought, well, I should start exercising, because now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I feel like I could. So I tried to. Well, then after I started to try to exercise, I did, I think, maybe 1 or 2 days of it, but it was I just only did maybe like 10 minutes, because I thought I've got to work into it gradually. So I just did 10 minutes on an elliptical, which is pretty easy. And then I tried to do a little bit of my low weights, like 3-pound weights. for my arms. And the next day after that, my neck and my shoulder were completely sore, and I literally could not hardly move my arm. And my mom had the exact same symptoms, except she had them in both of her arms after COVID. She couldn't move either one of them, very, very little amounts, and they were in such pain. She was in such pain she couldn't hardly sleep. She couldn't lay down. And I was the same way. I could not lay on that left side. I had to stay on the right side. I couldn't hardly sleep because the pain was so bad I couldn't position myself well. And then the fatigue and the brain fog continued on. So something happened when I tried to exercise or just tried to do anything like that, which a lot of the long haulers I've noticed from their interviews and stuff have had the same thing. So what I ended up doing was I basically was like that for the 6 weeks or the 6-7 weeks after COVID, and then clear into just about 7 weeks ago. So I had COVID in the middle of November, had it for a couple weeks, and then, like I said, another 6 weeks after that, still having all of the long hauler symptoms, and then went into this thing with the neck and the shoulder and that side, the left side of my body. Well, then it wasn't until, and I just kept feeling worse and worse and worse, and just fatigue and not feeling well at all. Appetite was going down. My sense of smell and taste never did really come all the way back. It's maybe like 50% back. I still to this day haven't got that all completely back. But after, I don't know, it was at least 3 months that I had all this left side stuff going on with the neck and the shoulder and everything. By this point, I was getting desperate. I really couldn't take it anymore. And so I noticed too that on the right side was also starting to do that along my neck. And so I thought, oh my gosh, if I have this happen on the right side, what am I going to do? I don't have both my arms then, so it's going to get even harder for me. So basically, I ended up hearing, was talking to my mom about it and telling her, I just don't think I'm going to be able to, if this continues on and I don't have a way to get rid of it, I don't know that I'm even going to be able to make it to 60, in my 60s. And I'm 49. So, because I could just see my health just going down and down and down and deteriorating. So, and the doctors don't know anything about it. They don't know how to deal with it. They're just starting this stuff up. And when this was going on, they weren't really talking about or doing much. They were trying to, but they weren't even getting clinics going at that point, or at least very few, and not in my area. I live in the rural areas, so there's probably never going to be anything here. So ultimately I ended up talking to my mom about it and telling her, I just don't think this is I don't know what I'm going to do. And then too, of course, you get depressed because you feel like I can't even do the simplest stuff without having more problems, more pain. And my joints also were a huge issue. I was having heart palpitations too. So the joints also had, I could see fluid and stuff on there. And that seemed to be getting worse and worse. So what I ended up doing was I heard this when I was talking to my mom, same time I was telling her all that, I heard this person, or a voice, I guess I should say, a voice just say, it's in your lymph system, and it's draining out of your brain. It's going into your lymph system from your brain. So I looked up immediately when I heard that. I looked up immediately the treatment. What do you do for your lymphatic system? How do you help your lymphatic system get cleaned out? And so immediately what popped up was the lymphatic brushing, and which is a dry brushing. So what you do is you just take you purchase the horsehair brush, and the reason why it's horsehair or the boar hair is because you don't want to scratch your skin up, and it's the safest ones to use for your skin. So that's why, and it's not that expensive. I've got one here this is what I bought. I bought the horsehair brush with the strap, and then the brush comes with a handle. You can remove the handle. Honestly, I don't use the handle because they don't have anything that clips that handle onto the brush, and so when you're trying to do your back with that, the handle comes off. So I just use the brush because you can hold it in your hand and do all my body. My back and everything is very difficult to get, and when your arm is like that, or some long haulers, they're both of their arms are like this, and so there's no way that they can reach their back. But that strap comes in handy because you can put that around there, and I just did the best I could with it at first because I could hardly move my left arm to really do that side. People that have both arms like that, you're probably going to have to do it with, or have somebody help you in the beginning to brush your back and brush your arm, shoulders, what have you. Any of those areas if you cannot do it or can't complete doing the dry brushing all over your body. There are videos for dry brushing. You can just type in dry brushing lymph system, something like that, and it will come up with some videos of lymphologists and doctors who can show you how to do the brushing. So you definitely want to get this. I got mine off of Amazon. This is it. And it is right now $9.99, and I have Prime, so I get it for that. But even if you don't, it's not that much money for this set, and this is the one that I got. It works well. There's many others out there, and there's many other websites, so you could get it off of anything that you find if you do decide to do this. The other thing that I did was, I'm gonna click on that here, hold on just a second, and I will give you the protocol if I can get it up here. Okay, so my initial COVID long haulers treatment protocol, this is what I did for the first 3 weeks. A lot of this I am still doing. But the first 3 weeks is how long it took me to actually drain this junk out of my lymph system. The first couple days, what I did was, because I did not have my brushes, I ordered them immediately, so I wasn't able to brush. But in the meantime, while I was waiting for my brushes, the first 3 days, I just massaged my lymph nodes, and I just looked up a chart on the internet. I found a chart where it shows the lymph nodes, and like an anatomical chart on, let me see here, I'll get back to this one screen that we were on with the lymphatic brushing. And it actually, this website itself has it has a video. So the video's right there. She will show you how to brush. And then there's also a diagram, so you can just go right to this website, drybrushforskin.com, and it will show you where those lymph nodes are. It shows you what direction your lymph fluid flows through your body and how it flows through there. So it's all right here on this website. That's why I chose this one to show you guys, because it's easy and it's all there for you, so you can get started immediately. But what I did is I massaged these right here in the back of my head, these lymph nodes, and I started massaging them here, my lower back, because my lower back was also in a lot of pain since COVID. And then you have all these on the back of your knees. You have all of these in the growing area here, in the pelvic area. You need to massage those. You need to do the elbows and the arms, the armpits. These are the main ones. There's ones here. There's all the ones in your throat, your ears, everything. And then you have a big one on the arm here. Well, this one here is the one I'm still working on getting it all the way better. Mine is not 100% yet. And mine was on my, let's see, this would be this person's right arm. Mine was on the left. My mom had both arms. Couldn't hardly move them, all due to this, after the COVID, for the long haulers COVID. So you also have them up here in the forehead, and then you have the lymphs in here in your face. There's ones here and up here by the ears, behind the ears, and going all along your jaw lines here. They don't show all, they show the main ones here, but we have many lymph nodes, main ones and auxiliary ones, or like secondary ones. So if you look at an anatomical chart with a lymph system, you can see how many more we have. On this one here, they're just showing you where the main ones are and how to brush. So this is just helpful to get started, but you can also see where the main ones are to do the massage, so that you can massage everything. Once you start that massaging, you will feel, I did it for 2 days, and after the 2 days, well, about 2.5, I guess. And after that, the day before my brushes got here, I started this on a Saturday night. My brushes didn't get here till Wednesday. By Tuesday morning, just from doing the massaging, I had what felt like some drainage come out of the back of my skull here. I could feel it like inside my neck kind of drain. And so when that happened, I just felt an extreme amount of fatigue, and I literally had to lay back in a chair, go to sleep. I did not wake up for 2 hours after that happened. But after that, I felt a lot better as far as the fatigue. The fatigue started going away. So what I believe is the proteins and stuff, they're stuck in your lymph system up here at the base of the skull, and probably inside around your brain, because that's why you've got the brain fog. We have lymph system, they're not showing down this picture, but we have lymph system clear up in here in the dura mater, which is it's the outermost layer of the meninges, which surrounds your brain. And that lymph system up there, I think, is also clogged with this COVID proteins, because the COVID does get in your brain. It gets in through the nasal sinus passages. You don't have that sense of smell. You don't have the sense of taste. It's gotten up in there, and it can cross over into the brain there. There's research articles about it, all this. So it does get in there. But your lymph system has to clean that protein out. And what I believe is happening is the protein's bunching up. It's sticking. I call it the sticky virus. COVID-19 is a sticky virus because the proteins stick in your lymph system. And that is what is causing all of this problem. So you get this out, you will feel so much better. You've got to circulate. You've got to help your lymph system circulate that protein out of your body. If you can do that, you will feel so much better, and you won't have to take all of the medications that these doctors are. I'm not against doctors at all. I work in the healthcare profession, but they're not tackling the lymph system. They're not talking about that. They're not addressing that. This is where the cause is. This is where this stuff is stuck at. We've got to get rid of it. You've got to get it out of there. So anyway, this drybrushingforskin.com, that's the one you want to go to, because it has the basic information that you need. And then let me go back to the protocol here. And I just typed this up. Like I said, this is my protocol. This is what I do. My mom is doing it. My colleague at work is doing it. They're both feeling great. I'm feeling great. So I just want everybody to know about this. We were so excited when this worked so quickly. But like I said, after I had that initial drainage from the skull area, and the head area, in the neck, I got my brushes the next day. I started with the brushes, and immediately I started feeling things kind of drain out, but the left arm and the neck and shoulder and everything, it was bad there. So what I did is I did this entire protocol, which is on here on this sheet. I'm showing it to you so you guys know. You can look back at this video. You can see what I did. You can copy it if you want. You can do this if you want. Like I said, it's up to you. I'm not a doctor. I don't recommend prescriptions. I don't recommend any of that because I do not have the credentials or the licensure for that. This is what I did that worked for me. Dry brush 1 to 2 times daily. Horsehair brushes, dry brush only. You can use the silicone strap for shower use only, and massage lymph nodes gently 1 to 2 times daily. There are different schools of thought. Some people online, lymphologists and stuff, say you shouldn't do it that much. Honestly, with this COVID, for me, I did it this much, and I felt like it worked well for me. I did not feel like I was overdoing it. As far as your face goes, when you dry brush, you can dry brush your face. I did try that. However, I just stuck with the massaging on my face, because the brushes, to me, with my skin, the way my skin is, I'm very fair skinned, it was too much for my facial skin. So I just did the massage, and the massage works fine too. But the dry brushing is really, really going to increase that circulation. But you can just do a small finger massage on the face, just lightly, and with some lotion or oils or whatever, and it will still help. It will still work. But your body, you really want to do the dry brushing. Cup of hot water with fresh squeezed lemon and ginger. You can use the grated, shredded, or minced. I've used all of it, and so far it all is working well. I like the grated and the shredded better than the minced, but I do that 1 to 2 times daily. That's going to cleans out your lymph system, and it cleans out your liver and your spleen are part of your lymph system. You must clean them out. This COVID virus, I believe, is stuck in the liver and the spleen as well, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Cup of dandelion root tea, you need 1 to 2 times daily. Store bought or make your own with dandelion roots from outside that have not been sprayed with chemicals. I bought the dandelion root tea at Hy-Vee, and it is fine. It's like $5 and something at Hy-Vee, but you need to start drinking that definitely, because that cleans your liver out and your spleen out. This is one way to clean it out. I did also make my own dandelion roots. I did that later once I started feeling better, because honestly, with my arm and my neck, there was no way I could do it. I wouldn't even be able to dig a hole. So until I felt better, after the 3rd week is when I was able to actually go out. It was like the 3rd or 4th. Well, it's probably about the 4th or 5th week. I went out and actually got my own dandelion roots. But you also want to do bone broth. Bone broth has collagen. Collagen is excellent for your lymph system. You need the collagen. So make sure you drink bone broth 1 to 2 times a day. The dandelion root tea, you can also do 1 to 2 times a day. The Bed Buddy steam hot pack, or any steam hot pack placed on any areas of the body where you have lymph node pain, 3 to 6 times daily. Place fabric or towel between you and the steam pack so you don't burn your skin. If you have any kind of sensitivity to that, I think everybody should put something in between them and that steam pack, because you don't want to burn yourself. So make sure you do that. And it doesn't have to be the Bed Buddy steam hot pack. It could be, it could also be a rice pack, like a homemade one, whatever. My mom has a homemade one. That's the one she uses, and that's working well for her too. I just so happen to have the Bed Buddy steam hot pack. And what happened to me was I did not use the steam hot pack the first 2 weeks, because I actually didn't even think about that as part of my protocol, or that it would help me. But then I ended up remembering when my daughter was little, she had fifth disease when she was a little girl, and after she had, it's like a childhood virus like chickenpox or that, but you get a rash with it and everything. Well, she had it for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, and she went back to school and she was feeling better, we noticed that one of her lymph nodes in her neck was just very enlarged, and it was actually kind of hard. So I took her back to the doctor, and the doctor said that she needed to lay on a steam pack every day when she came home from school, and that I was to massage that lymph node to break that stuff up that was inside the lymph node, and so that her body could get rid of it. So I remembered that from clear back. I mean, she's 26 now, and she was like 6 years old when that happened. So when I thought of that, I thought, well, okay, I'll start the steam pack. So I started doing that, and I did that during the 3rd week. Well, the 3rd week, that is when I had, by the end of that 3rd week, I had stuff drain out of my spleen. I literally could feel it spurting out of the spleen and drained into my intestines. And maybe like 10 minutes after that drained, well, actually immediately after it drained, everything drained from my left side. Your spleen is located on your left side of your body. The liver is on the right side. So when that drained from the spleen, everything, all the lymph system above that drained as well. So it was clogged at the spleen, and then it drained. And that happened, I think, in part because I did start incorporating the steam hot packs in the evening. When I would come up from work, I would put those on, and I would do it 3 to 6 times in the evening, just because I needed to be able to get that relief on that left side, and I was really hoping that that would also help that everything drain. And it did. Everything did drain, and but the dandelion root tea cleans that spleen out. It cleans the liver out. So it worked for me. And once that drained, I could start moving my arm again. I could start moving my shoulder again. My neck felt better. My ear, all the nodes in the ears, and then my neck and the left side of my neck going down the front of my throat, that all felt better. So it worked. And after the 3rd week, that was the game changer, and I was able to then start some stretching, some exercise, all those kinds of things, and went on to do more of the things that I was able to do before COVID. And I actually started exercising, and now being 6 or 7, maybe 8 weeks in, I am now doing exercise and abdominal exercises and more arm exercises. My arm is still getting better as far as the strength, because I got all that drained, and most of the pain is gone. It's only a little bit sore when I move it in certain directions, but I am working on regaining that strength, and also tidying up some more of that pain, and kind of getting rid of more of that. But so definitely incorporate the steam packs, and I would use the steam packs and not your heating pads, because the heating pads are usually dry unless you have a steam heating pad, which there are some of those too. But either just make sure it's a steam one, because that penetrates down into the lymph system. Take vitamin C, your vitamin D, your multivitamin, and your zinc. I took quercetin. That helps you absorb zinc, but it's also it has many other benefits for your lymph system, so you could also take that as well if you need to. But again, look up all those things and only take the dosages that's appropriate for you, or check with a doctor, or however you want to do that. And then eat only foods that are immune supportive for the first few weeks, or until you feel your lymph system drain and or other long hauler symptoms start going away. My heart palpitations are gone, all those kinds of things. All the other symptoms start going away. The joint pain, I don't have the joint pain. So all this stuff was affected by the lymph system being clogged. Your lymph system drains the junk and the garbage out of your blood and gets rid of it. So if you cannot drain that, it's like having your sewer pipes backed up into your body, and that sewage is just being recirculated and recirculated and recirculated around your body, and it's unable to get out, and it makes you sick. So that's what's going on.